All right, we're back.
All right, so go ahead, Van.
All right, there's another questions from Shanghai.
Yeah. Sorry, Shanghai.
Yeah, Shanghai.
missed
Shout
your
out
question.
to we missed your question. So,
Yeah.
advice for the youth Hmong kids who wants to do MMA.
You go at it first.
Sure.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
To me, my advice is, I guess is you put in your work. You know what I mean? So when you're putting in your work, your dedication is gonna be everything. So my advice is, once you find something that you love and you cherish, go at it and give it 100%. Rather than like in my lifestyle, I know I committed a little bit, training here and there, and then I was out of the class, in the class, back and forth. So if you want to do something, I would say just give it 100% and go at it, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yep. Advice for the young too. Well, first of all, since they're young, it comes back to the parents first, right? And so, from our experience, when the parents are dedicated and focused, then that child gets better. And so, the national champions that we've had in Taekwondo, we've also had parents that back them up. And so when the parents aren't there, it makes it a lot harder. And so parents backing the kids up, the parents have to sacrifice. They're the ones going to practices, taking the time, taking the trips, spending the money for all the extra training. It's expensive. And so it's a parental commitment. Right. And so it's a serious deal because it's a lot of investment, a lot of sacrifices for your child. So if your child's dream is that and you see that that's their dream and you help them, I mean, that's great. Right. But a lot of times it's that's too much. We're not going to do that. So we don't support them in that way. So first off, it's having parents that are really dedicated to that child's dream as well. Or is it the parent's dream or is it the child's dream? Right. And sometimes they intermix. Right. And then the second thing is, for the kids, man, be open to learn and train hard. Like, don't let distractions pull you aside. There's so many things that can distract you and pull you. Be open and learn, and you're going to get challenges. You're going to get setbacks, but it's okay. All those things make you a stronger fighter. It's like Bruce Lee says, you fall down 7, get up 8, right?
Yeah.
So, you're going to get challenged, but you just come back stronger and stronger. And you're a kid. You're learning. You're still growing into your body. You're still growing in technique. It doesn't mean that's how it's going to be forever. Things are going to change. And so keep growing, keep challenging yourself. Don't be afraid, as fighters. And so, like even like Schofield, right?
That's Schofield.
That's so I'm thinking, and he's doing, he's competing, he's going to tournaments, he's, I give him a shout out. He's doing all the right things to be successful, if he keeps up the training and keeps the focus and keeps working, there's no doubt, in my mind that he can be in the UFC someday, but he's still a young kid. Is his focus going to maintain until he's 18 years old? There's a lot there, right? And we have some kids that are so focused, and all of a sudden something happens and they just lose focus. So staying focused and finding that motivation on why you do what you do is so important, for the parents and the kids. If you guys can mesh and work that together, then you got a great team. Plus, of course, finding a good school, and they're at a great school too.
Right.
Yeah.
And then last questions from David here, and this is for you, Sam. Sam, you ever think about opening a second Rising Sun?
Honestly, I think about it, and with my brother being a back, being the strong leader he is, I know that he's got my back no matter what.
Yeah.
And one thing that I always dream to do is teaching kids.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And my older brother, he can teach, adults and kids, and my problem is I have a little thing with public speaking. You know what I mean? So I get very, very. I'm very uncomfortable with it still, to this day. You put me on the spot in front of kids, even though even with kids, you get a bunch of kids that I've never met before. I kind of stall.
Okay.
When I called him to come, he said he was going to come, and then he went home to sleep.
Yeah, I did. I was so
And
scared.
then
I went home
I
to
was
sleep.
like, I'm like, you need to get here. And they're like, we're waiting for you. And he's like, no.
Everything is
He
blank.
didn't even want to come.
So, but if I did open up a Rising Sun or whatever, it'd be, branch off from my brother, whatever it is. But, it would be all about kids,
Would it be here or would it be like in a different
Coming to Minnesota?
Oh, well, no, it would have to start off small. I would have to, he would have to help me, and I would have to go at it. But, that's one thing that I always wanted to do is just focus on that age group. Is just
open one in
kids.
Minnesota?
Have you ever thought about teaching, helping your brother here? at the Rising Sun here?
No, I thought about it too, but like I said, I think I put my outside activities first, like fishing and what I mean, being a dad and watching them play sports in my work environment. So it kind of screws up my time for the gym time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the youngest is 6, so maybe in another 12 years, then maybe he'll start.
Maybe you're trying to. What you're trying to say is maybe your fire is not there anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Well, it's so good to see you again, though.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, Sam.
Yeah.
By the way, you're doing good, man. You're doing phenomenal. I didn't think you were gonna actually talk this much.
This one comment down here is referring to you. Like, there's like, Sam, you look batty.
What do you mean by baddie?
I don't know.
Baddie, like you,
Yeah.
like you're a badass.
Yeah,
you know,
badass.
like, not like the like
Yeah.
lie.
What'd you say?
but, like,
The ruthless days are over.
We should get down to these personal questions.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, Lah, since like you have kids, your expectation for your kids, do you force them to train? Do you make them choose if they want to train?
If you asked them, they would say I forced them. But we gave them opportunities. We always told them, if you're not going, like my gift is martial arts, and so I'm going to give that to you. That's all I know how to give you.
Right.
And so if you're not going to do any sports, if you're not going to do anything, then you're coming to class. But if you join soccer, you want to go swimming, you want to do or whatever,
Do
you
football,
can do
whatever,
those things.
yeah.
Yep. Whatever you want to do, you can do. But if you don't choose to do nothing, then I'm choosing for you. So you get to make a decision, but if no decision means it's my decision.
Okay.
So and so the expectation always they know is always to work your hardest and do your best, and they for a little while as they're growing up, they love doing it, and then they hate doing it as they get older and teenagers, and now they're both adults and they're coming back and they help us with our Taekwondo program, and they're awesome. Like they're invaluable to our program. They help and they relate to a lot of the kids, and the kids love them, and they help us do well, because managing our Taekwondo classes, because it's a big class too. So and now whether they love it or not, they still choose to come back, and
Right.
to help out and give back, and they're really good at what they do because they've been seeing it and been around it for so many years that they know how to teach. They know how to manage a huge class. They know how to move things. They know how to So they got a lot of natural skills that as teachers already, just being involved in, just listening to them when they go in. So they go and they teach like the schools during the summer or even after school programs, and they're helping out. And so they're giving back in a lot of ways. They don't like it, they'll tell you, but they use it in their resumes. They use it in their college applications. They use it, but they're like, but they still don't like it. I'm like, what? It's helped you so much, So it's been good.
Awesome. What about you, Sam? Do you encourage your kids to come? Do you force them to come?
Oh, I do the same thing my older brother does. If they're not doing something at school, you know what I mean, and all my kids are in some activity, and one main thing what Lah was saying too is, as a parent, like if you don't promote them and you don't acknowledge what they're doing, it can tear them away from it. But yet, if they're doing all these activities, it's for the future, it's going to be good, rather than getting in trouble and doing all these things like I used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
If they're active and you're a good parent and you're pushing them towards those goals, they're going to achieve better success,
Yeah. Now, I want to ask you too, since you both competed, have you ever thought about making more money in competition? Or is it just not something that you were interested in?
Me, tell you the truth, when I fought, it was all about money.
Oh.
When I first fought, I got out of jail, I mean,
Yeah.
from some stupid shit. And then I ended up going to a bar, and they had a fight going on. So my first fight was actually at a bar.
Yeah.
And they're like, does anybody want to fight? I'm like, yeah, me. You
Oh,
what I
was
mean?
that the fight on the DVD?
Yep. So that was my first fight ever. But, I used to do a lot of street fights and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow.
I'm gonna get back to that. Yeah.
So I ended up fighting in this, this my first fight, and I ended up getting paid. They paid me. They slapped $50 on me. I'm like, wow, I got paid $50. I can do this all the time. Yeah. I started with $50.
Oh, okay. And Lah, what about you? Was it?
Money wasn't really a big, you didn't do it for the money. Like you put in so much training time, you put in so much that the money you get was, it's irrelevant. So like, MMA doesn't make a lot of money. Even in the UFC, like a first time, person in the UFC is making 13, 14,000 to fight, and then another. Plus you get bonus, but still that's, compared to like professional boxing or something, and then you put in all the hours of your time. If you break that down and break it up to your hourly wages, it's not about the money. You know, it's about the love for it. It's about the passion of it's more, you know, for me, it was testing myself, you know. So like these guys were in a lot of ruthless brawls and stuff like that. I got in some too, but my thing was I also want to test myself. Like, how good am I really? Can I stand up to someone? You know, do I got what it takes to fight someone, you know, and to back up and protect my family. You know, that was a big test to me, is, you know, keep testing, you know, to see how good I could be, not to, you know, so that was more of the attraction for me. It was the test than, you know, the financial wasn't that big of a deal.
Go ahead, Van.
Now going back to the baddie questions, right?
Yep.
So this is actually from one of the co-hosts, Chad. He actually says, Sam, you look baddie. As a youth fighting in the streets, what makes you transpires from the street life cage to fighting? Because you have a fearless heart.
Yep. That's true. The thing is, on the streets, I'm careless. You know what I mean? So when I'm fighting on the streets, I could care less on what happens. You know what I mean? Rather you put down your opponent in different ways, you know what I mean? And you keep attacking when the opponent is down or whatever, you know what I mean? Or your enemy, we'll just say, on the streets. Right? So and I use that in a cage because I got the ruthless mentality. You know what I mean? So when we're going, it's you and me, and let's go at it and see who wins this. You know what I mean? So fighting in the cage, you have to be controlled. You know what I mean? On the streets, I'm not controlled. You know what I mean? I let all my anger out and everything. So, you know, that's why people come train at the gym and stuff like that. For someone like me, because I get to release that anger on bags. You know what I mean? I get to release that anger, you know, when I'm sparring or something like that. So, control is like the number one thing. You know what I mean? So as badass as I thought I was, or back then, and I would fight anybody at any time, you know, when it came to the streets, I could do it. But in the cage, the mentality has to change. The mentality, I still have the ruthlessness. I'll fight anywhere. I'll go at you. But yet, it has to be controlled. Because if you don't know how to control that, you'll get yourself hurt.
Now, La, have you? I don't want to like put it out there, but you know, like your fights, okay? You know, you probably had some altercations in the street before. Has that changed when you started doing martial arts?
Well, that was part of the reason why I wanted to join martial arts, right? You know, in high school, you know, you had your rednecks that would call you, you know, all kinds of racist names and stuff. And then we also had Hmong immigrants that were still coming. And then they would be like, hey, La, these people are like making fun of. So you would have to go and help them out, you know. So you kind of fought other people's fights for them, you know. So, you know, we got in, you know, some scuffles that way, you know. But those were more like protection and helping style fights. It was never for like, you know, I didn't fight for like just to fight, or you know, I didn't have any gang or any affiliation where I was like, hey, I gotta back this. I'm fighting for this kind of pride. It was more like I'm fighting for protection. I'm fighting to help people. I'm fighting for a cause, but not for anything specific that way. So, but you know, like I said before, I wanted to fight because I want to make sure that I wasn't afraid. I wanted that fearless mentality. I wanted that, hey man, I'm not afraid of anybody. Like I want to, like, you know, and that's a big piece of why people fight, is they want to not be afraid, right?
Right.
So it's kind of interesting how it works. Is you got to kind of face your own fears of what you think and to battle to see what comes out in the end.
Yeah. Did you guys have to hide this from your parents when you guys first started, or did you just let them know that I'm gonna go fight, and your parents were okay with it?
Oh no, my dad. If my dad knew we were fighting, he would beat our asses.
Really?
Oh yeah. My dad was like you said, his respect, his name was everything. So if we did something wrong, we got punished for it, and we deserved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
The street fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, the street fight. Okay.
Street fight,
Okay.
Yeah. When we rebelled against that, though, you know, my dad was on us.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah, but over time, you know, in the beginning, they didn't want us to fight even at like, you know, in competition, stuff like that too, because they don't want you to get hurt, you know.
Right.
But once they saw that it was something that we really wanted to do, then he's like, well, you better just train for it, you know.
So now, so your first fight when you guys went in, did you guys let your parents know that, hey, I'm gonna go fight?
Yeah.
Can I get your blessing? Or anything like that?
Absolutely.
Okay. And Sam, you kind of just like went to the bar and fought. So.
Yeah, I did. Last first fight, I was actually locked up. You know what I mean? I was locked up, and then
really?
all of a sudden, I was like, I think wrote a letter or something. I forgot what it was, and I was like, yeah, he had his first fight. I'm like, what? You had a first fight? Like, with this now? You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, you get paid to fight. I'm like, what? You know, so I was all excited about it. So then when I got out, you know, I went to a bar, watched them fight, and then for some reason they were like, yeah, anybody want to fight? I'm like, yeah, right here. So it started that way.
Nice.
Yeah, one of my proudest moments was one of my last fight. I fought up in Tomahawk, and my grandma and grandpa got to come and see me fight. And so they got to come live to watch. And it was just like, and it was something that they, it was a great memory for me to just see them. They were so happy. And then like they had our picture and our poster, and they would watch our fights, and they were just so happy and proud of us. And it just made me feel so good to just like give them a little happiness, a little of like proudness of you know, for them. So it was just, you know, one of my happy moments in fighting is, you know, my grandma and my grandpa getting to see that. I think that's more valuable than them coming to my master's graduation. I mean, my bachelor's degree, you know, they were like, go to school. We need a son to have. And they came to that too, but I felt better when they came to watch my fight, you know.
Oh man, I don't think my mom could have ever made any of my fights though.
So we have another question from Kathy. How was learning the Hmong language growing up? Did it come naturally or was it difficult? Was it just like a natural thing for you guys, or is it like
It's very natural.
It's natural.
Yeah, it depends. You know, we had my grandparents. They live on top. The Hmong grandparents. They live on top of our house. You know what I mean? Upstairs, and we live downstairs. And then every time my mom and dad would yell at us, we'd go upstairs and they'll speak Hmong to us all the time. You know what I mean? And they come raise us, and you know, if we felt something bad, we'll scream to our grandparents, and they're upstairs like, "Booyer, tu pa pe." So they'll come running downstairs like, "I me pay, you know what I mean? They'll yell at our mom and dad, and it's like, "Why are you guys beating them? We're naughty, you know."
Are you guys green or white?
Green.
Green.
I'm a mixture.
Yeah.
These days, I say momika everything. So, yeah.
Your Hmong's better than most of the Hmong kids right now. You know.
It's
What about your
choppy.
parents?
Yeah.
Like, especially your mom. It's like, how does your mom like learn how to speak Hmong or that language?
That's another whole 2-hour episode. Right? You know, she learned it from, you know, going to a Christian Bible college in Ohio. They kind of were meeting at night, and then just living with my dad's family, you know, because she moved in, and so she had to learn.
okay.
So,
Okay.
you know, but she was able to pick it up pretty fast. That way.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was some tough struggles, but yeah, she was able to pick it up and is fluent that way.
Good.
Yeah.
She's very good, better than us.
I know. Like I was telling Van, Mrs. Your mom Elaine, she was like the interpreter for Beja parents when they were going to register us for school. Yep. We would always see Elaine there, and she would always be like the translation lady to take care of everything. So everybody knew Elaine and you guys. you know?
It was kind of funny because she tells us like, you know, stories of like at school, and the Hmong kids would like talk smack about her, and then she'd be like speak back to them in Hmong, and they'd be like, "What?" Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah.
No, I think somebody, one of my relatives, they ran into Elaine, and they said that her Hmong was better than their English, and they felt so stupid. It was so funny.
Yeah. No, a lot of, you know, over the years we got to grow up with it, and so a lot of Hmong people will say she's a Hmong person in a white body.
Yeah.
You know, so if you spoke Hmong to her on the phone, then you wouldn't even know that you're speaking to a white person. You know, so yeah.
Yeah. Now, how did you guys grow up as Christian kids? Did you guys all go to church? Did you guys obey?
No, we went to church every Sunday.
Every Sunday?
You know, every Sunday we went to the Hmong church, and that's another thing how we learn Hmong too. So, you know, we're reading the books, and it's all in Hmong words, you know. So even though we didn't know how to read, you know, we're just following along, and then the more you say it, the more you're gonna learn how to say those words that you're seeing, you know what I mean? So we learned Hmong that way too. So, but going to church and stuff, yeah, my mom and dad took us every week, you know what I mean, brought us up.
Okay, so you guys were straight up Christians then.
Yep. Well, try to be straight up Christians, right?
Yeah,
So you have your belief, and then, you know, try to walk that way too, right? And so, and you know, it's a mixture. But we try to do our best in that kind of way. You know, nobody's perfect, but you know, in Christianity, the goal is to give back, right?
Yep.
Right.
To love,
Yep.
love Jesus, and give back and serve, right?
Right.
The Son of God comes and serves people, and we love Him, and He loves us and died for us, and we got to be able to serve others too and help out. And so, you know, and He tells us, hey man, love your enemies, right? Give them food to drink if they're hungry. Give them, food, give them a drink if they're thirsty. And so those are things that I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do those things. But as a Christian, it's not that it doesn't make things easier. Like I don't have a magic thing that makes me love my enemies easier, but I have Him, right? And that helps me to be a better person. Like, man, yeah, I got to be better, So, I think for me, that's been a huge inspiration. That's why we call this Young Rising Sun, because it points to Him, right? And that's why we got the cross, because it points to Him,
right?
He's the reason why we're able to do what we do. So the name Rising Sun actually gives me a chance. People are like, how'd you come up with that name? Well, the cross, the thorns, it's all pointing to Jesus, just because of the sacrifice, what He's done. He's fought the biggest fight for us. So how do we, so now we got to fight for Him and do the right things.
Yeah. That's something very interesting to hear, because I don't think people know that Rising Sun is actually S-O-N. They think it's S-U-N.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because fighting is like S-U-N, Japanese style kind of stuff.
Right.
That's nice.
Do you have any questions, Van? Well, Lah, Sam, I just want to thank you guys for today's interview and podcast. And I want
the beating.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for coming. It's been a pleasure. Yeah.
You missed out, Sam. It's always good seeing you again, Sam. I know I'm aging. I'm getting fatter too. So I'm coming back, and you guys are always my family here.
Yeah.
It was good to see you guys.
Yeah. We'd love to spar you one time.
Sam is a striker, though.
Yep.
But we had a blast here.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you guys for everything.
You guys.
Yeah, thanks again for having us, and thanks for what you guys do. So keep it up.
Yeah. And of course, in the future, I will always reach out to you because you are my instructor. So.
Yeah, sounds good. You're doing good. So it sounds like you guys are doing good things in Minnesota too. So I'm sure there's a lot of advanced people that could, open up schools and do a lot of really good things over there.
yeah.
You just got to find them, and get people that have a caring heart that want to help people, and not just for money, but to help people. And you'll find that there are genuine people out there that will do good things.
Absolutely.
Then yeah, that'd be great. So there's a lot of people and a lot of talent in Minnesota. So you don't have to come all the way over here. There's talent there too.
Yeah, but it's nothing like hanging out with you though. It's a different vibe though.
Yeah. Well, we're awesome. We're low key, right? Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Sam. Thank you,
you,
Lah.
guys.
Thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. Okay.
Thank you guys too.
Yep.
All
And
right.
so we're gonna end it here, and we will see you guys in the next episode.
Yep.
ปากคำมาจะไปหายตาเป็นแค่พอเป็นแค่คือต่อหายใจอยู่ที่บัวเล็ก